Hi guys, how you doing? Hi guys, am I audible? I'm just seeing if I can see myself and then we'll get going, alright? Hi guys, how you doing? Okay, we good. So today's live is mostly about the reflection of this year and learnings I've had from this year and the changes we are going to do next year. So that's why this is named 2026 Plans. Okay. Oh, first of all, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year if you're seeing this after or before Christmas. I don't know. I'm recording this obviously before Christmas. And I hope you guys are having a great break. So am I. And I'm back in Minecraft, baby. I'm going to talk about that later on. Okay. Uh, so, what changed? Seems like a very serious question. Okay, let me change the vibe here. This is not a serious, very serious live stream. Whenever I'm doing live stream, trust me, except when I'm saying some serious stuff, which is like 5% of the times, I'm not really serious, all right? I have like a big two-page checklist to say about and talking all this shit for no reason. But it's just basically what lives are about. It's just gonna be unscripted. It's gonna be unfiltered. It's gonna be you're gonna see me through the screen, which is pretty much nobody right now, and that's great because I can talk all about stuff and then nobody can comment and stuff. Hey, let me give me some myself some optimism. Keep it up. Great job, future famous comedian. Yeah. Okay, you gotta give it yourself some optimism, all right? Yeah, whenever if you're guys watching the replay chat or something like that on YouTube, then you will see my things on there. Okay, yeah, you gotta keep yourself up. Okay, let's get to the point. Okay, I've wasted already 2 minutes. This will be no longer than I think 40-ish minutes. Okay, so so reflection on this year, which I was talking about. Well, from last time when we did this live thing, I was totally confused, all right? And it was all about my disappointment and also the club's disappointment. And basically, the club is not working. Yeah, pretty much that is the problem. And we figured it out. And then still, because it's like mid semester, I think at that point, I still don't remember when I did that. It was kind of long ago. Uh, I got busy in my studies, right? And then I just forgot about the club because it's just like in once in a while, maybe once in a month, I will get an idea or something, which I do have right now, but for like this one maybe, because when I'm doing lives and stuff, I don't really have to think about it because I always have something to talk about. All right, I can talk about NFL maybe a whole day. Hey, Broncos are playing good, except the Jaguar games. So the going back to the topic, this will happen like 15 times this live, so please be tuned. You have to be focused, even though I'm not. So that's basically it. And then I don't have much change from that time, except I got I think one member, which I'm gonna talk about later on. His name is I'm not gonna make his name public, but he's a nice guy. He came to me the last day of our club. And it was just like all of a sudden, one of my great teachers, great math teacher, Miss Abels. Shout out to you, Miss Abels. So Miss Abels came in, and this guy was right there, and I don't know this guy, but this guy I've seen that guy a couple of times. He's a very smart guy. I'm gonna talk about it maybe later on. Maybe he's gonna be on the channel sometime. Uh, yeah. So I hope he will keep coming next year, but we cannot count on anybody unless I know them better. So that's one thing. I got at least one member this semester. Um, Total members or like total people that came in might be around 5 or 6, but nobody came in consistently or even like more than once, so I cannot like count them, so to say. Okay. New members, I would say, is 4. Yeah, because Ellen was my last year's member. I feel like Ellen doesn't have a problem with that, and she stopped coming because of the theater and stuff. And yeah, I Ellen was a great member last year. Just shout out to you, Ellen. It was amazing having you last year. Or maybe sorry, this year. Yeah, this year in February. So if I'm taking the whole year, not just this semester, this club is great. This club is fantastic. All right. My plans with this club were different than it turned out to be because I had many plans to do some PowerPoint presentations. I had many plans to do some great like crowd work and stuff. Well, if there is no crowd, there's just no work. Great jokes, guys. So there's no crowd, and there's I had some plans with improv and stuff. Like we could like do some joke writing weeks. And if you guys are tuning up with the channel, even like once or twice, you have seen those videos of like those announcements and stuff. I'm gonna talk about announcements too. Uh, so those kind of stuffs were good, and where I was pretty consistent with it, and I kept doing what I was doing throughout the year. Well, the thing is, consistency is also my problem. Okay, because sometimes I'm consistent and sometimes I'm not, and that is called inconsistent. It's just crazy way to phrase it. Sometimes I'm consistent and sometimes I'm not. That means I'm inconsistent. That's such a great way to put it. Okay, so that was pretty much it this year. I learned a lot from this year and I had a great, okay, I had this great secret project which I'm not going to reveal till at least April. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about it because I'm like in scripting and stuff like that. I have been some discussion with Miss Kenzie. Miss Kenzie is my sponsor, if you don't know. Uh, so with her about this and this secret project. Okay, I'm gonna talk about it right now. Okay, nothing is gonna be delayed. Uh, this project is a key part of this whole channel and also this whole club because it's gonna shape myself. I feel like as a person and as a really good comedy club member. So I'm gonna focus on this one next time, and I'm kind of recording. This is like a, what should I say it? It's as a human interaction. Okay, let's call it that. It's some kind of human interaction, but I'm not just the one talking to the camera. Yeah, you're gonna see more people on the channel. Hell yeah. Okay, and it's gonna be people. If you're in Thunder Ridge campus, maybe some people you know, some people you definitely are in class with. Yeah, you know who they are. So it's gonna be great. I feel like it's gonna be really great. And this is gonna be the secret project that I will be referring to throughout the semester. Not if not next semester, then the semester after. And yes, we keep going with the semester, even though we have no people. So that is one good thing about it. Okay. So one of the key things that went well for this semester, I would say, is my personal comedy career. I know it's being selfish and saying, "Oh, I am such a genius. I am such a great comedian." Well, I like to call myself that. Okay. So that's a great thing to say. But participation was still stagnant at zero. All right. It didn't change a bit, a chunk, a centimeter. All right. So it was still a flat line, which is still at zero. And I don't know what to do with this because I felt like after people are done with their sports, they will come in. But again, the problem stays the problem. The participation is still low, and that's gotta be my primary focus until I get some participation. It's just kind of like a loop. I keep doing whatever I'm doing. I sometimes change stuff I'm doing. For example, the marketing stuff that worked to an extent, but didn't make such a huge impact that it changed my life. All right, I'm getting great subscribers. I love that. I love that as a fact. Okay, I have gotten from 0 to 37 subscribers, maybe more after this live. Uh, it's great. My subscriber count is just booming and booming, and I love it actually. Sorry guys, I just seeing some weird stuff here. Okay, okay, we're good. So that is one good thing and bad thing here. And okay, that's one thing. And we're gonna talk about backlash about the comedy club, about the recent last 2 weeks of school. I got some backlash too. Yeah, tune in for those spicy stories. Okay, we're gonna talk about this later on. Uh, so the coming year has been, sorry, there will be very impactful in terms of my life, so to say. Okay, even though this club is just me and just me, and then so it's pretty hard to keep up with everything. Even though I have like 5 AP classes, I have to keep up with those, and then I have my SAT, which is next semester, which I'm still preparing for, and then I've got this club. And my parents are Indian, so they always like, yeah, that's not even priority, all right? They'll just cut it out. Just cut it out. That's your entertainment. Don't even focus on that. That's not even gonna cut your college or something. But I feel like this is a great part of my college application and stuff. Not that this is the only reason I'm doing that, but kind of this gonna be a big part of my college application. But there's so much stuff coming around, and pretty much academics is the only thing that stops me from being consistent. Because again, if I got a test tomorrow, doing a stand up is not my priority. And sometimes when I don't have a test and I'm not doing it very well, and let's say I have to catch up with stuff, it's still not the best choice. When I'm like totally free, then I get no ideas. Trust me, I don't. Okay, we're gonna talk about the joke writing about in the comedy club as well. All right. So stand-up ideas, I have some stand-up ideas like speed walking and stuff, which I want to really do. But I'm gonna talk about the stand-up format that I'm trying to do my stuff at and why it's not working. Cheeseburger set so far, I think got like around 50-ish views, and that's which is pretty good, which is pretty good for my first set. And because I refer to that cheeseburger set every single time, and people were like, "Oh, how could you write a set on cheeseburgers? That's like impossible or something." So yeah, so that was one thing about that. uh Cheeseburger set was amazing. The shorts, I saw great response on the shorts, truly saying, because when I was scrolling, obviously everybody does, come on man, and when I was scrolling through YouTube, yeah, that's important. Yeah, love you YouTube, give me some more views, I love it. So when I was scrolling through YouTube, I just figure out that what percentage of my watch history is shorts compared to long videos. I'm a big long video guy, all right. I've watched like 3 hour 4 hour podcast for no reason when I'm playing like Minecraft and stuff, or maybe like I'm locked in into something. So I just do that in my background and stuff. I don't listen to music and stuff, I just listen to podcasts. So I do that all the time. But truly saying, nobody really has 5 minutes or even 3 minutes to watch your set. Nobody does. Nobody's gonna like find your channel by themselves, not you forcing them, and then gonna watch your 3 minute set start to end. Okay, that's really rarely gonna happen. Okay, so that was one thing that I realized later on, that I gotta come on this. Uh, there's one people watching. Hi, there's one person watching, and I'm freaking shocked. All right, if you're watching, great, keep watching. Okay, they left. Come on. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. I just said keep watching and they left. Okay. Okay. Just tune in if you want to. And this comedy club is basically about these kind of moments, right? Where you just get one people watching and then left when you say keep watching. That's when I used to start my shots. If you have seen one of my earlier ones, I used to start my shots like stop scrolling, just stop scrolling, like don't scroll right now. Okay, and that at that exact moment I would scroll. Okay, so I won't blame you if you just scroll after that, because if your content is interesting, people don't have to say don't scroll. They just stop. They just stop and listen. You just gotta get those fame out of front. I feel like fame is such an overused word right now. I mean, get even there are like so many great YouTubers, but they don't have even like 1,000 subscribers. Okay, they're just doing and hustling and finding that one moment that gets them viral. And that one moment was my living under a rock joke, which I never expected would get so many views. It was almost 900 views and some hashtag. I didn't even knew hashtag or something. Most of my views, it's a true story. Most of my views that comes on my shorts are from hashtags. Okay, true. I am not lying about that. I have put like a million hashtags down there, so it works all right. Because again, if I'm just uploading stuff and nobody is seeing it, what's the point, kind of? So even though they're not in the club, I got 900 views. Like I uploaded that shot and I forgot about it, right? And that was the only day I forgot to check my statistics on my channel. And I was like, yeah, nobody watched it anyway, so whatever. So then after 2 3 days, I checked, and that video had 750 views, and I was like, what? That is impossible. And something clicked, and I was just like shocked about it. And right now, I think it has over 900 views. And consistently every single other shot also gained views, because I think people were interested in knowing what the other jokes were, and I also linked one of them in between them, and other jokes also got some views, and I think I got like 2 3 more subscribers from that. And that was amazing for me to see that those many views. I don't know if they're all bots or anything, but still those many views are crazy to get in like 2 to 3 days, when my consistent viewer is like, I don't know, 15 maybe. Yeah, 15. So that was one thing about that. Yeah. Okay, so this is another topic that I want to touch upon is my regularity of my stand-ups. Okay, if you see my channel over time, and if you expect me to upload like new joke or maybe something funny over every weekend, yeah, that's not gonna happen. That's really not gonna happen. What I do stuff, it's really what I said is right. I'm consistent over some time and inconsistent over some time, and you call I nailed that the first time. Truly, I messed this up this time. Sorry, guys. So that's one thing. My regularity is not just my laziness, truly saying. It's really not. Because whenever I do have time to like do my jokes and like lock in and stuff like that, I don't really do it. I mean, it's really impossible to do it. Because whenever I force myself into it, it's never gonna work. Like it's like, oh, I gotta find a joke. I'm gonna find a great joke. What's the joke about fat moms? If you know that joke, that's great. There's a joke about fat moms right now, which is kind of good, I would say. So it doesn't come like that. It's just not doesn't work like that. I've tried it a couple of times. Like, oh, I have no work to do right now. I'm kind of bored. Let's write some jokes, and I can write some jokes on boredom maybe, but it that won't be great, right? And I feel like when you start writing jokes, like in maybe like we can see this is my writing in like 2 minutes, all right, one page, two page, there's another page back in there. uh when you start writing, you only started getting more idea, so that's only good, all right. But when you start getting like those like you're pressurized to write jokes, you're never gonna work. It's never gonna work. I've tried before. Okay, it's always something like, oh, I got this nice joke and I tried it on one person, and then I just sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. Sometimes I tried it in a different audience, in a different kind of people, and it might be working, it might be not. And there was this great joke I told. This is only for my teacher actually, and some jokes I just write for my teachers or like specific people, so I can just test it on them. Yeah, it's not like you know kissing their butt or anything, but like still, I do jokes on them so I can know the audience better and how they react to it. Because I feel like personal jokes. I'm not saying like insulting jokes. I'm gonna talk about that later on. uh Personal jokes or like relatable jokes for you hits harder than just a regular joke. Okay, so this was a joke about my history teacher. His name is Mr. Johnson, and his Gmail, or like the school Gmail, is BC Johnson. Okay, and I just had a joke about this. I just asked him, do you know why they have BC in your name? Why is it BC Johnson? And he said, oh, I don't know, maybe it's just my initials and stuff. I said, no, it's not your initials. It's your birth era. And he was pretty old. So it just clicked in. And he was just like, yeah, that's a good one. So those are kind of stuff you have to do to be a great comedian. If not a great one, at least a representative comedian. Okay. And I talk myself as like I'm a great comedian or something. It's just like my, overconfidence I show. I'm really not a great comedian, truly. I would be on Netflix if that happened. And I have done that joke before. uh there's another problem with my jokes where I cannot change quite a bit, that like I don't get joke more like new joke ideas that often. Like I got a joke about the high school boyfriend, and I hope you guys have seen the joke, high school boyfriend and husband joke, which is about like pretty much like I am pregnant is the punchline and stuff. You guys should watch it. I ruined the joke for you if you didn't. So that's basically the joke. And whenever people keep asking for me a joke, like a joke or something, I always say that single joke. I never have more than like two jokes to say at them. And I never come up with new material. Once I see my old material working, I just stop doing it. Like stop doing new stuff. And I don't know what was the last time I was writing new stuff. Like it might have been in this cheeseburger set, which is like pretty much in August, September kind of stuff. So it has been quite some time when I'm writing my own stuff and finding the stuff that I feel like is funny, and I'm testing it in the audience. The thing is, I feel like I should do jokes. I should use my good jokes. First one should be a good one. When they ask for a different one, which is less compared to other people, because when they hear that one joke and they're like, "Oh, give me another joke," then I mostly give out them another old joke, not a new one. So I'm trying to give a new joke after an old joke, so they kind of keep being interested. All right. And if I bomb that joke, okay, first joke work. All right. Maybe come up with a third joke or something like that. So that was one thing about it. My regularity is still gonna be poor, kind of. Okay, Maybe in these breaks and stuff I will upload stuff, but truly saying in these breaks I want to upload many stand-ups, and I end up doing nothing. That's always the case. I end up doing nothing. In Thanksgiving I did nothing. In fall break I did nothing. In weekends sometimes I did something, sometimes I didn't. I mostly get ideas on weekdays and I mostly shoot on weekdays, and I just wait for response on weekends. All right, so that's what pretty much the case has been, if you consider that. All right. Yeah. So I have also target stand-up videos this year, which was 100 stand-ups, or at least written 100 stand-ups, which sounded so easy to me when I thought about it, and now I'm like, yeah, it's not gonna happen. I'm just passing out the resolution, which was 2025 to 2026. Resolutions. We just pass it on. Yeah, we'll do it in 2060. Who cares? So that's my target, to do 100 stand-ups. I feel like I've done. I will not count the shorts as stand-up, because if I do, then it might be pretty quick. So I've done like two stand-ups so far, and one of them is a rant, and one of them is actually three, but one of them is private. So there's a lot of stuff going on right now. So publicly uploaded, actually written stand up is just one, which is the cheeseburger set. Okay, I feel like I had great jokes in there, but some people didn't like stay till the whole time, so that kind of ruined the point. I feel like I was focused more on the shorts form content, as I discussed, because short form content attracts more viewers. So I would just do that, and maybe I can do a 3 minute video and cut clips out of it and make small jokes, which often happens if you're seeing comedy on TikTok or on YouTube or something. You're always seeing, oh, this Nate Burgett. Oh, he's a great comedian, by the way. Nate Burgett. He has this 1 hour special, and he has 50,000 different shots out of it, which is like part one, part two. I don't like doing parts, all right, because like most people don't like tune in. Even though you link it, if they're not interested in the first part, they don't link it for the second part. And I don't have like those big jokes that will lead those parts. Most of my jokes are under 2 minutes or so. So I think one shot is all right for one joke, and I'm not gonna extend it or anything. Another thing, which is about joke writing. Okay, this is very crucial to understand for the plans of next year, which I'm gonna discuss later on. Jesus, I'm talking way too much in this video, man. If you're watching this as 2x, which I will later on to find out how fast I was talking, don't. Please don't. I'm a 2x guy. I'm an all-time 2x guy. But don't watch this on 2x because it will be super fast. So don't watch it. Uh, what is this club about? Okay. I feel like we still haven't established that as a fact yet. What is the Grizzly Comedy Club about? If you should go by the name, if you just say, "Oh, this is the comedy club," if it's just comedy, okay, you have to be funny to join the comedy club. If you're funny, you do some joke and you do some, stand-up stuff, and then you upload it. You get famous, and then you get money. Oh my God, you're all over the place. Great. It's a great first impression what you get from the name itself. One step forward, you see the channel itself. Okay, and your channel kind of proves your point, that what you thought about it. Okay, he's uploading some jokes, he's doing this, he's doing this stand-up stuff, he's doing this sarcasm week or whatever, and you kind of get the idea of whatever the club is about. And if you go up the club charter, we say stuff about, oh, the comedy awareness, this, that, big words, all right, just big words, and no performance. Those are the basic stuff. But there's a massive mistake which people make, and it has been always been there, and I figured out like 2 weeks ago, just 2 weeks, that it's never going to be solved. It's a problem that might not really have a solution to it on a broader scale, even on the school on a basis. The problem is being funny and doing comedy. Most people will say being funny meaning you're doing comedy, or being doing comedy means you're funny. Those are like vice versa. Like you have to be the other if you're the one of them. No, you don't have to be that. Okay, this is not a proportional way to look at it. Okay, I'm gonna talk some serious stuff about it. I'm not gonna joke about it because this is a serious stuff about comedy. Okay, joke writing is a different skill than being funny. Your friend. Let me give you an example. Right? Give me a very easy example. Your friend in your group, some of them are funny, all right? They might not do very sophisticated, oh, what is the difference between this and that kind of jokes, all right? They might not be that sophisticated with their jokes and stuff, but you laugh at them. And you laugh, might be at their behaviors, might be at the stuff they say, might be at the stuff they might have thought that funny, and you guys laughed at it, and then you guys had fun. Obviously, friends say funny stuff and they laugh about it. I see that all the time. Well, I don't have friends, honestly speaking, so I'll try to get some, but it's a different topic. That happens all the time. But truly saying, that single friend, that funny friend, which you one of all of the friends groups have, I was used to be one of those funny friends. They couldn't really perform. If all of them are trying to perform comedy, all of them will not perform as good as a regular stand-up comedian, as a person who is hardworking, as a person who is writing jokes and improvising them and doing them again and again and again. It will not happen. Okay, this is a very, very clear establishment and a foundation I want to set up, that you don't have to be funny to join the comedy club. Being funny helps, all right? It gets you some ideas. It gets you a new look at looking at things, all right? It gives you nice, like nice goggles to look at some perspectives, and some different perspectives to look at one thing. Okay, it is really beneficial. But as a great comedian, if you have to be one of them, you have to be very observant. Okay, you have to be very observant. If you are not observant, then you will not catch the funny bits of your daily life, or maybe the daily stories, or maybe something that you found funny. Okay, maybe something that you find ridiculous, maybe you hated something and you can make fun out of it. Okay, you have to be very observant. Okay, that is one single skill that I feel like every comedian, or every aspiring comedian, every person who is joining the club should have or should try to develop. Okay, there's no skill in this world that you cannot develop, except maybe a few. Okay, I'm not going to debate this topic of nature versus nurture thing, but I feel like this is more like a nurture thing, because comedy is an art. Truly, it is an art. And how is it different than theater or maybe some other kind of form? I'm going to discuss that. Okay, uh, that's one thing about it. So I feel like I've set the stage for that. Theater, yeah. Uh, Truly speaking, I have a dream. I have a dream that one day theater will be out of business. I have a dream that theater will be out of business and I will be selling humongous tickets and booking the freaking auditoriums again and again and again. All right, that might be my greatest theater joke ever. And no hate against the theater, but that's really my dream, to do a set, and I just get famous, and then the theater gets out of business. They don't get any shows in the building. I'm making the county, the school great money. I'm making them great money, and they're just keeping me and firing the theater crew. It's just this one V theater, all right? This is what we are playing against, all right? Uh, that's hard. That's truly hard. Okay, I try to see myself as this big guy who can destroy theater, and this guy who can do anything he can. He wants to be that. Okay, dreams are good. Dreams are very good, but I try to make them goals instead of dreams, because those are not my imaginations. Those are what I want to be doing. This is a dream. Like, I don't want to get in some trouble with theater, and they're like, "Oh, we're unemployed now." Like, what do we do? They're like, "I don't know. I'm just funny." So that's the point. Okay, that's the point. That's the point of doing comedy. That you do the jokes first. The funny that I just discussed, that I said by mistake, is really s- like a cherry on top. Let's call it that. Okay, it's a cherry on top. It helps. It definitely helps. But still, it's not all of it. A person who is funny is not can also not be a great comedian. It's also vice versa. All right. So a great comedian kind of has to make everybody laugh. So he has to be kind of funny. That's true. That's very true. But if you have that mindset, it's kind of like saying that if I'm not going to be in the Olympics, what's the point of playing the sport? Like, that's a stupid argument. Like, why would you say that? Like, if you just aim at Olympics and say, "Oh, I'm not gonna reach there. I'm not that good, anyways," and I'm just gonna stop there and watch TikTok. But watching TikTok is great, but still, you're a loser. And end of the day, that's the point. You didn't even try. You tried and you failed. You tried again. You failed again. That's stand up. You do your jokes. You bomb them. You do your jokes in a newer audience, and you still bomb them. If you still bomb them, then you come up with new material and you do this process all over again. I can I don't have good editing skills and stuff like that, but if I could see you in a diagram of a loop or something like that, in a Krebs cycle kind of diagram, it goes in a loop. It goes in a loop all over again. Cycles, cycles, and cycles is the life of stand-up comedian. All right, this is what everyone pretty much does, even though they have their own ways of doing stand-up and joke writing and stuff like that. Truly speaking, if you're really interested into joke writing, there's no one way of doing it. All right, period. There's not one way of doing it. I see some people, like some great comedians like Louis C.K. and maybe Tony Hinchcliffe. If you see his show Kill Tony, they do it some different ways. And if you ask people like Jerry Seinfeld, they will say different ways of doing it. But again, I teach you some ways of doing it. For example, the premise, setup, punchline, which is very like standard over the comedy field. All right, everybody pretty much knows it, and they pretty much have it in all of their jokes, intentionally or unintentionally. All right, they just focus on telling a story. Okay, this is the big picture. If you are focusing on the small stuff on the joke writing, you have to also see the big picture. What are you doing? You're telling a story, but in a sarcastical and in a humorous manner. That's the only difference between storytelling and joke writing. That's the only difference. All right. If you're joke writing, it's nothing as different as writing, like let's say, an essay kind of stuff. Okay. If you don't like writing essay, okay, don't freak out. It doesn't have to be that long, that lengthy, and that sophisticated and stuff. I'm not gonna grade your grammar and stuff, all that stuff. All right. It's just so you get an idea of how to do it. Then, if once you're done writing the jokes, you perform them. And that I feel like is a hard part of it. Because many people have stage fear and they have anxiety and they think of the consequences, which I'm going to talk about doing the consequences of comedy in high school and what's going to happen if they bomb the jokes. Still, you have to do the jokes to find out if you bomb them or if they're funny. If you don't do the jokes, you never know, right? And if you just expect, uh, okay, one joke which I will do in my friend group, and if they find it funny, I will do it with more people, and I will not do it if they don't find it funny. It's stupid. Period. Okay, I'm calling you stupid through the camera. That's so. I should not call my audience stupid like that. You can always. This is my key strategy. All right, it's just take it from me. Just take it from me. These are golden words coming out of a great comedian. If your joke doesn't work, you can always blame the audience. You can always blame the audience. This audience is cold. This audience is nasty. This audience doesn't have intellectual capacity. This audience is dumb, fat, ugly. I don't know what you can say about them, but you can just take the route a different way and you can just drift apart from the main point you were talking about. All right. You can always make a comeback, which is very important. Okay. Another thing about who should join and who shouldn't. I thoroughly talked about who should join and who shouldn't because the mindset of people and the thing I talked about, this cannot be solved, is because failure. Many people in Thunridge, sorry, not Thunridge, maybe in high school, are not very used to failures or they fear failures. All right. In their classes, they're getting C's. Let's say they bombed a test, they fear failure. That's why they study. And they study because they fear failure. So this is pretty much again all a loop, all a loop. All right. So this pretty much the fear of failure sometimes drives you to success. And I'm taking this from the words of the Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang. If you know him, he's a great guy. He's a genius guy. Uh, I saw him in a podcast, and he was talking about this. I work hard not to be rich or like we have luxury or something. I work hard because I fear failure. Okay, fear, if taken excessively, I won't say that's pretty good, but if you take fear in a good amount, it's actually good. Because if you have no fear, you're like fearless or something. I'm not saying fearless in a term like you're brave. I'm saying fearless as in like you don't care about anything. That is bad. Like you don't have like worries about anything. That is bad. You should have worries about something. I mean, you have something to worry about. Whether it's grade, it's life, it's your future, something. You have to have something to worry about. And if you don't, well, maybe you just have a great life. It's just, I feel like it sucks if you don't have anything to worry about because it's just the focus always changes. Your topic always changes that you worry about, but the worry always stays. is it never goes. I mean, if you stop worrying about stuff, what is life about then? So I feel like that it's pretty empty to think about that. Okay, I'm not giving you any lecture on life or something like that. As like a 17-year-old guy who has figured out everything in his life, I have not. I'm truly not. Okay, I'm getting two B's in my two AP classes, and I am cooked, baby. My last thing about this club is my new approach of looking at this club. My new approach of looking at this club is more about learning from the community at the about the secret project which I'm talking about. Learning from the community, especially Thunderrich community, about why this club didn't work, which is my secret project mostly about. I'm gonna kind of giving spoilers, but it's okay. So that's pretty much it. It's all about why did the club work and why, how could it make it work, and how the environmental factors, which I'm going to talk about later on, maybe in my videos or maybe on the next live or something like that, that how the environmental factors kind of shapes the comedy environment in the school, and it was very hard for me to do that. Okay, let's talk about the week thing. Okay, the week thing, which I'm gonna refer to as the week announcement that I post every time. If you guys have seen one of those, or the music. Sorry, I couldn't do very well. Kind of like goes like that, and then there's the grizzly bear, and there's a sarcasm week come this Tuesday. Sorry, Thursday, and then do this. Okay, those kind of stuff. So those are the weeks I usually do because I feel like theming the weeks out gives us some purpose, and it gives them some like some way of looking at it, like some good lens of looking at it. All right, and the lens we're looking at stuff. Where did I go to the lens? Man, I'm so lost. All right, just talking. I have notes. I have a whole page of writing. I'm just talking shit here. So I need some time to be. 1 second. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I got it. Okay, I got it. So it's about the announcement of the weeks. Okay. So if you don't know how it goes, it pretty much goes like 1 week of each theme. Let's say it's satire, all right? But the first week is understanding satire. All right. I've already mentioned this in my descriptions and stuff like that. If you read them, one of those is basically understanding satire and let's say watching satire videos and how people do it and how to implement it. All right, how to understand it first, because before we actually do jokes and satire, we have to understand what is satire. Okay, that's just an example, but I'm saying this is pretty much about every single uh type of comedy. All right, we focus on these types of comedy because I want the people in the club to figure out where do they fit in the comedy spectrum. Okay, there's a big spectrum. Okay, you can be a deadpan guy, you can be an anti-humor guy, you can be a storytelling guy, you can be a dark humor guy. There's all kind of stuff. And you can be like on the it is not like anything black and white. You can be like a Venn diagram of five different styles too. All right. You just have to find where do you fit, what do you like, and what would you like to perform and what would you not be cancelled for, which is really hard to do. Okay, you can be cancelled for anything. I'm going to talk about more about that later on. So next semester we have these weeks topical comedy, heckles. Oh, I love heckles. I love heckles. One-liners, dark comedy. Okay, we are gonna do dark comedy as an entire 2 week because it's like not P16. Obviously, we're gonna understand dark comedy and we might watch some on the edge dark jokes, which is not really going over the line. Dark comedy is mostly over the line. Okay, so we're not gonna do that like on what jokes and stuff. We're not gonna do jokes and stuff, even though people really like it. And I want to mention this topic because I feel like this dark comedy has really been on the rise in the recent years. I really like that. Prop comedy, if you've seen some of the props doing some stand-ups and stuff like that. Anti-humor, which is in short, you expect a punchline and then you get silence. It's crazy. It's crazy. It really works sometimes. All right. Some people don't get it, and some people say it's just not funny. And I don't get it that much as well. But I feel like we should cover that as well because like not doing jokes is also a form of comedy. So you should just know that. Oh my god. How the weeks work? Okay. Now is the most important part I'm going to talk about. I feel like I've already done 40 minutes. I cannot believe I'm talking about 40 goddamn minutes. All right. So I want to talk about this. Let's drink some water. Yeah, this is important. Okay. This is mostly about the consequences of doing comedy and how it can be sometimes, I will not say dangerous, but it can backfire on you. Okay. As a comedian, let's say if you're trying to be a comedian, you're trying to do jokes, all right? You're trying to do jokes, you're trying not to offend people, you're trying not to cross the line, you're trying to offend any kind of group of people that will not watch you or might uh, make your name in the comedy industry worse or something like that. And you just don't want to be canceled on your first days. So I did a roast of a guy called Sean Martin. Okay, if you're Sean, you're watching this, that's great. If you're not watching this, that's even. No, I'm not gonna do that joke. Okay, so uh, I roasted this guy called Sean Martin. He's in my calculus class. He sat right beside me, and you guys always know the 6-7 joke, right? So he was a guy who always used to do the 6-7 joke. Any kind of time, any kind of moment, he's always doing the joke. And I was just like, hey, this is a great opportunity to do us roast. And I'm great at roast. Trust me, I'm great at roast. All right. I feel like I am because I've done roast comedy pretty much my whole life. And in India, where I'm pretty much from, I did roast comedy with my friends and stuff. But the rules are pretty different. People actually get offended here. People can actually sue you for that. So I really try to keep it on the light level and the very, very baseline humor and a very, very non-offensive. But some parts are very offensive. I feel like, yeah, that's true. Because again, if you're roasting someone and they're offended, that's the point. I try to do that joke kind of with him. Like, if you were offended with the joke, it might sound harsh and arrogant, but that's the point, kind of. Like you're not gonna like the entire roast. Oh, this is so funny. He's talking all the shoots about me, and I don't like it because people don't like when they're like mocked about. Obviously, you will not like if you're mocked about. There are very very few people, maybe like me, who are completely okay with them being mocked about. Okay, I will not say anything to you if you do a joke on me, even though I don't like it. All right, it can be a racist jokes. It can be something like demeaning. It can be a dark joke, double meaning joke, insulting joke. I don't care. If it's a joke, it's a joke. You tried. And I like it. All right, because you at least try. So his roast obviously offended him. All right, I said no offense at the end. And I, by mistake, as a dumb person, made it public. I thought unlisted means on YouTube means it not listed and people cannot see it. But unlisted means they can actually see it. It does. It doesn't show up on the homepage, but if you go on playlist and see the roast playlist, you can actually see it. Unlisted means it's not on the homepage. It's on there somehow, but they can actually see it. It's for public. And I didn't know that. I just read the description. I said, oh, that means it's not like it's kind of private, but it's not so private, right? Then all those people saw it. And I think I got like 24 views on it. And I sent it him. He sent it to him by email, and he saw it, and he was just like, "What is this?" And he was like, "Oh, do you have beef with this Tom?" I was like, "No, dog, I don't have beef with you." After that one, he really hated me. I feel like he did. And if he did take offense, and I feel like our relationship will not be same again. And I'm really sorry if I offended you, Sean. I really don't hate you. I love you. You're amazing. It's just I just told him that you are an easy target. I feel like, and I have some content to write about. And I did a joke of 10 minutes, which is my longest stand up. I did 4 different cuts of the joke and combined them together and made a whole roast about it. Oh boy, I spent an hour doing that, and I got a backlash of about like 2 hours. All right, 1 hour of work, 2 hours of backlash. That's what you get, people. Okay. That's one thing that you have to be careful about. Even though people will be offended, don't try to do roast and stuff. Oh, I also forgot to tell you about that thing. That one of my teachers, she's my seminar teacher. I'm not gonna say her name, but when I was talking about her to like go to the bathroom, she was like, "Oh, I will talk to you about something." don't do roast about people in school. And she was really serious about it. She said like the students in her class were like the friends with Sean, and they were like talking all about it, and it's really not that good. And she watched the whole goddamn 10-minute roast. Hey, there's about people watching. Hi, dude. Or woman, doesn't matter. Okay, keep watching, dude. So that was one thing about it, that backlash comes with comedy, and you have to be able to face with backlash when you're doing comedy, because again, actions have consequences, and you got to be able to deal with that. And that guy left. So actions do have consequences, just right in front of you guys. Okay, when you do a live stream of, I feel like, more than 30 minutes, people start coming, and I see two people came and left. That's amazing. I can just keep the camera open like this. Oh my god. uh so that was that topic. Okay, and I am gonna do that secret project kind of with him as well, to show the times when people don't like your comedy and how to deal with it. He was a very nice guy, truly. Don't give any hate to him. He's a totally nice guy. He came up to me, was like, "Yeah, I like your other jokes and stuff." I didn't ask him about his favorite joke though. I don't think he wants to talk about it anymore. But I forced him to watch the stand up pretty much, and then I sent the link to him through email, and then he watched it, and it wasn't that good. I pretty much expected it through him, but yeah, I feel like I am not doing my roast anymore, because I get pretty much backlash, and I don't feel it's worth it to do the roast. Sometimes I can roast my teachers, but I've tried doing that as well, like a parody kind of stuff. But my teachers don't like it that much. Yeah, so I'm not trying to do it on people in school, because it's really consequential. Sometimes one of your jokes are not working, and it just backfires on you. It just pretty much breaks the point of doing the whole roast. All right, and people, their boundaries are different. I always talk about this prick thing, that no personal comments, no R-rated jokes, no insulting comments or anybody, and no cussing. These are the prick. We always follow the prick for the boundaries and stuff. We don't do prick. That's what we do. All right. So we do that. We do that. And okay, I already did the joke with I wrote here, so I'm not gonna repeat it. Uh, I have seen the comedy I'm doing is making some impact in school. Okay, my target audience is Thunder Ridge. I don't have Mountain Vista people. Okay, hate you guys. And I don't have Rock Canyon people. I don't have people outside school. I don't have people over 60. I don't have people under 6. If you're people under 6, I'm truly sorry for you if you watch this. And it's great. You're watching this. I appreciate it, but you're not my target audience, just so you know. Don't be offended. Uh, Comedy has to make a bigger impact in school. Comedy has to do more than just with my personal growth, which I've seen a lot this semester. Okay, my personal growth and my comedy being famous, and I'm being funny, and this comedy club guy, I'm pretty much name is the comedy club guy right now. Okay, I'm the comedy club guy of the school, and everybody, I feel like pretty much most of the people seem to like me. And I don't really care if you don't like me. Some people got the hatred of the Sean Martin roast and stuff like that. And I'm totally okay if you're one of those people who are offended by the jokes. I totally didn't want to offend you, but again, I it's kind of it is my point. That's my point of doing it. Okay. Bigger impacts don't only start and just like, oh, I did a stand up and people saw it, great, big impact. No, it's not. It's one part is participation, second part is involvement. Okay, just the people coming will not keep the club growing, they have to be involved. Okay, that was my first semester problem, that Ellen was coming to our club every single day, but I couldn't keep her involved into stuff because I didn't have any stuff that we could do together. That was totally my fault. Ellen was amazing. She came up every single day to keep my optimism up, and I could like talk about stuff and stuff. So that's pretty good. And I try to make a bigger impact than just what I'm doing right now, because I feel like impact is something that will carry through the club forward, instead of just these like shorts and these and stuff. These make an impact, but like a smaller impact. Okay, I'm really seeing the big picture of making comedy an actual art form in high school, which I feel like I'm too late now. Even though I started my sophomore year, second semester, I feel like I'm too late now. Like it's just too late to do the club, because Again, it's just not gonna work. Maybe I'm too being pessimistic. All right, yeah, it's gonna work, guys. It's gonna work. Trust me, it's gonna work. Okay. And I have some announcements which I already made. I feel like is the marketing of the club. This it relates back to the participation. When I recently started the club, which is the beginning of the semester, is my first complete semester because I started the club in February 2025, which is mid semester, so it pretty much doesn't count. But if you start the starting date, which I am jumbling up my words, truly sorry for that. If you count the starting date, it will be in February. But if you actually see the starting date, which I actually was focused with the club, with the poster, banner, channel, everything like that, it was this semester, August. All right. Stopped doing emails, and I have also stopped doing community posts. Okay, because I feel like marketing is really not the problem because people are going into knitting clubs, into fishing clubs, into this club and this club. Marine biology club has three, four, 15 times the more people than me. All right. They don't do any marketing. Maybe I've seen one poster in 3 years. All right. That is just crazy. All right. I know comedy is such a maybe niche thing to go into, even though it's so broad. Like everybody likes comedy, but nobody wants to do it. That's the point. That's the point I'm trying to prove with my secret project. I'm ruining my project, man. It's not secret anymore, is it? Okay, kind of. So that's one thing. So because it's like sucking off my time and like I'm like doing this emails and stuff. There was one nice, very nice person. I'm gonna see if I could find her email. She actually mailed me back because she was getting those emails, and I was like she was looking at those emails every single time when I was posting them. And I couldn't know that who was that email going to. I feel like every single one of those emails made it to a spam folder, and I couldn't really do anything about that. She her name was Jamie. I feel like she's a parent, she's not a student. And she was, I think, feel like she was one of the parents who was really interested in the club and really interested in the concept of the club. I feel like she was the person who talked with me for 15 minutes or so during the academic showcase. And she said she was really unhappy with the results, and she was really sorry for about the not the progress about the club. She really liked it, and I really felt heartfelt about the thing because I really felt the support that somebody is actually watching, somebody is actually receiving the email. That made me feel good. But for the 3 months I did it, every single week I was just like, oh, I gotta do the emails, I gotta do the community post, I gotta do this, that. Any one of those didn't have anything to do with comedy. And my sole focus of doing stand up, doing open mics, which I didn't talk about yet, uh, open mics and these kind of stuff was getting suppressed on this marketing stuff that, oh, come into my club, come into my club, which is kind of important if you think about it, because if you have no people, what are we going to do with the PowerPoints? What are we going to do with the improv? What are we going to do with, actual open mics? There's nobody who's going to come. So I couldn't do pretty much any of my plans. Maybe I did two of my plans, which one of them is secret, and one of them might be the open mics. I did one of my open mics, and it didn't work, and I couldn't make it work, and so I'm just not doing that. All right, I will upload the shorts for the week so you guys get notified about the shorts, because I feel like that kind of gets my views up a little bit, and my shorts kind of keep it going. My views, the curve. This is not the curve. This is the curve. Sorry. I gotta go sleep now. It's pretty much 11, boy. Ugh. Okay. Uh, that one is done. I still have one more page to go. We'll like cruise through that. All right. How is next year gonna be different? Let's talk about that. Well, I already pretty much covered what went wrong this year and what things cannot be fixed and what I have done to improve them. Next semester, or maybe next year, if you see those two semesters together, next semester, Miss Kenzie came up with a plan. Her master plan. She is amazing. She is really supporting and doing this club, and she's really focused on to get more people. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, nobody is gonna come. She's like, why is nobody coming? like, they're like, yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of used to it right now. So that is one thing. She has this idea of bringing in cookies or snacks that can get some people in, and we can talk about comedy, and then we can just get more marketing. In her classes, she says she didn't do as much marketing as she should have done, and she's gonna do more marketing of this club this time. And that's gonna be great. I feel like that's gonna be really great. I tried to do QR codes, I did emails, I did a community post. I am still doing the what is this called, the shorts thing, that the thing I talked about, the sarcasm week and stuff like that, shorts. And whenever we are doing that, I did the general poster of the comedy club, which pretty much every club does. I think I did the word of mouth every single time anybody I saw, like, oh, what do you do after school? Oh, tennis. Leave tennis, come to the comedy club. Okay, I was that serious about it. I really shouldn't have been. uh I'm gonna get some guests. Oh my god, I'm ruining the project, man. It's not secret anymore, is it? I'm gonna do a different video of explaining the project and stuff like that. All right, so just tune in for that stuff. I'm gonna talk with more people in the community of Tunnel Ridge, and I'm gonna get some experience about how other people look at comedy as their perspective, as their different fields, as their different kind of uh, way of looking at it. Do they see comedy as only stand up? Do they see comedy as just dad jokes? Do they see comedy as something bigger than it could be in a club? What is comedy is different on the person and on the perspective. And I really want to know about more of this perspective, and I'm going to implement what they talk about, and maybe some of them could be helpful to the club. So I'm going to do that. My experience with the club has been amazing. All right. I don't know how others feel about it. I feel like Miss Kenzie has done a great job of keeping me, positive and like optimistic and stuff like that. And she's just doing her best. We are talking, we're just doing jokes. We are having fun. We and Miss Kenzie are always having fun. And that's great. I already talked about marketing is not correlated with more people. Uh, Future of channel, okay, except the secret project, which is not so secret anymore, truly speaking. I have less focus on this. Already said, due to my SAT and stuff like that, I would have less focus on the channel next semester compared to this semester, because I really gotta get my grades up. All right, I would have less focus on this. And I feel like some people like joke about it, like, oh, you have 5 APs, you ain't got a life, do you? And they just forget about the comedy club sometimes. And when people remember it, they just say, oh, you got a comedy club. And then people like talk about it. Oh, you got 5 APs? Or like, what do you do for fun? And people say like, oh, he does his comedy club. I'm like, yeah, that's fun, right? Kind of. That's sarcastic and that's dark, baby. So that's one of them. Uh, Back in Minecraft. All right, I'm playing Minecraft again. I last time played Minecraft when I was in India, which was like 2 years or more, 2.5 years, kind of stuff. Maybe 2 years. All right, let's call it that. 2 years back, I used to play Minecraft. The moment I came to America, I stopped playing Minecraft because I saw like, oh, this is the time to lock in. American dream, baby. So stuff like that. And it basically, when I came to America, I was just like not focused on those stuff, I had so many other stuff to, look around and stuff like that, and like explore this country and know the system better, and like knowing a country from an immigrant perspective is always hard. I feel great that I've catched up with many other stuff. I'm getting some popularity or whatever you can call it. 37 subscribers is a lot. All right, you don't have subscribers. You don't have 37 subscribers, do you? You don't. I know. Okay, TikTok followers don't count. The subscribers is different. Uh, Having fun is important though. Okay, I feel like whenever I'm doing this Minecraft thing, I'm always like, oh, I'm wasting so much time. I'm doing this for what? I'm not gonna get any return out of it. Truly speaking, there's some things you will not get any return out of it. Like for example, this stream. There's no point of it. There's literally no point of it. Nobody's gonna see it. Nobody. This is not gonna be changing my life. Okay, this is gonna be not gonna be life changing, but this is gonna be a little impactful. Maybe to make my ideas clear, come on this paper and also say it, so it is on the record that, oh, you said it before, so I can go back, and maybe if I lose this notebook or something, I can go back and see, oh, these are my plans in December 23, 2025, and now this is May 2026, and what I've changed. So I can see the progression of the clubs or the degradation of the club goes either ways. You never know, boy. So that's one thing. one big statement. There's another foundational statement which I will keep talking about, and which even people, when they see my journey and then I'm still failing, I'm still doing it, I am gonna make it. This is on my pretty much on my wall. I'm not gonna quit. I gonna do this till the end of my senior year, and till the end of when I can do this. I will keep doing it, and nobody can stop me from doing this. All right. I see another people came in and they left. Everybody is leaving. I mean, what is the point, dog? Okay, maybe I have to be a really beautiful girl or something, and then show up. Hey guys, you want to talk about my makeup stuff? Hey guys, how you guys doing? Hey guys, you know what happened with me today? I do great parodies, by the way. I do great parodies. There's one thing. My career has been great with this. I'm not saying stand-up comedy as a career, just so you know. I'm more into statistics and stuff. And I like it. I like it. All right. Nothing about the comedy club gets me demotivated right now, because at the beginning, like the first semester, like in the February, I was really pissed. I was really, really pissed. And over the summer, when I got into a job, I made some good money, and I learned about new people, and I learned more about stand-up, and I made this new channel. I got to understand you still gotta do stuff. I mean, it's never gonna work unless you like have a big vision, or maybe you do it for a long enough time to see an impact. You gotta do it for more than half a semester to see an impact. And right now it's 1.5 semester. I've seen some impact, and some of the unexpected impacts, some of the expected ones. Well, I need to see more. Again, greed is good, and it's always good when it's for the better. All right. So I always talk to myself. I always have this joke. The two members of this club, or my club, is just me and my loneliness. And people don't laugh at that for some reason. I don't know. I've tried those jokes like 5 times or something, and nobody ever laughed at that. They were like, yeah, you will get more members. They feel like it's depressing, but I feel like it's funny. I don't know. It's just I talk to myself and stuff like that, and like whenever I'm not talking, pretty much I'm talking to myself right now because there's nobody. So I do that all the time, and I maybe just talk to myself about what is the future of this club, what am I doing, what am I. Whenever I'm making a decision, I always feel like taking your opinion and seeing it from a different perspective and putting yourself in different shoes makes you feel a lot better about yourself and about the thing you decide. And the only great, I'm gonna skip this stuff, man. It's already been too long. Yeah. So the only great stuff about this thing is the future isn't doom. It is too early to see the future. I'm really good at metaphors, baby. I'm really good at metaphors. Truly, truly. I love metaphors. I'm pretty good at them, truly. I'm getting very, very good at them with my writing and stuff in AP Lang. And I'm going to implement those skills in my comedy as well. And you're going to see it. Uh, so that is basically what the whole thing is about. The future is too early to see, and you cannot make a judgment right now. Okay, I can only keep doing what I'm doing, improve, do it again. That's it. That's pretty much it. Have a great night, guys. It is being great with the three of you who have joined and left. You should be ashamed of yourself. Why did you leave? All right. But I still appreciate the three of you come and leave. I gave myself some appreciation, which is still up there. I feel like I should do that every single time I'm doing something. You know, future famous comedian. Yeah, obviously. Who is better than me, right? Yeah. Okay. Have a great night, guys. Have a great new year. Spend time with your family. And don't forget how to have fun, because that's important. Peace.